Greetings, friends. My name is Tobel. Thanks for being here with me, and welcome to a special video covering OnAir Company Manager. Like I promised in the last few videos, I did want to make a video dedicated just to our virtual airline program. So sit back and enjoy this flight. We are flying up the west coast of California back to our new-ish air base. We have chosen Snohomish County to be our new base of operations for a bit. So we're here at KPAE is where we're at in terms of the OnAir Company Manager. So I've already set up an FBO, and I've actually gone through and rename this to Odin Airlines HQ. Now, since I just clicked on the HBO and the FBO, we're going to talk a little bit about this. Now, again, I don't have a ton of experience with FBOs, so as we both play this game and get more experience and have larger and larger corporations and air companies here, we'll probably learn a little bit more. Now, I think by and large, having an FBO really helps with fees, because if we have a tie down, I believe this prevents you or maybe lowers the cost of storing an aircraft that you're either renting or purchased overnight. So it's going to lower the price of that. If we have some crew rooms here, this will allow anyone that we hire to rest at the airport without charging us fees for a hotel, for example. And I imagine, I actually don't know, maybe they incorporate a little bit of time getting to and from the airport after their rest period is done. No idea. You know, actually looking back, I worked for a buddy of mine who owned a helicopter tourism company up in Alaska, and we actually, in the office, which I guess that would technically be an FBO because his business operated out of that airport. There was literally a business on the side of the runway, and the helicopter would come in and land right in front. And our pilot would actually sleep there in the office. There's a little dedicated space for the pilot to sleep. So that's kind of cool. So I guess that's the general idea. It's just a crew room where they can rest overnight. We also might want to think about ordering some storage for fuel. Now, we're mostly in jet fuel at this point, I think, or we're going to be getting into jet fuel. So I kind of wonder, do we want to see, let's just see what the cost might be to upgrade our FBO. We currently have 2 aircraft tie downs. Let's see what it would cost to grab 2 crew rooms, 1,000 gallons of fuel storage, and gosh, I have no idea, maybe 500 pounds of cargo storage. Let's just see what the quotation might be. You know what? That's not awful. That's not as much as I thought it would be. So this is going to cost about 2 days for everything to be constructed. $17,000 to construct all this stuff here at our FBO. I'm going to go ahead and do it. Why not? We'll go ahead and just grab that. So they're going to be adding or dedicating, really, because if you think about it, they already have fuel storage there at the airport. We might just be getting dedicated a small bit of that, either of their storage, of their fuel, or we're going to get our own dedicated fuel tank. So I have no idea how the technicalities work out, but it's still pretty cool. So there we go. We are upgrading Odin Airlines a bit. What else do we want to talk about? So my goal in the future, we have about $370,000 in cash. Instead of renting aircraft, and in fact, I just stopped the rental for one of our aircraft. So if we take a look maybe at incomes, let's see if we can get an expenditure here. We spent, where's my rental information? We spent aircraft renting. So we've spent $161,000 in rentals. That's a lot of money. In fact, I think this is the most recent where I just turned in our TBM that we were flying for quite a while. So $26,000 over for rentals. That's a lot of money that we're putting into a rental. Obviously, purchasing an aircraft is going to be a pretty expensive endeavor. So we only have a certain amount of money up front. Let's look to see what's for sale. And the easiest way to look for what's for sale is to basically go to your airport that you're in. First, we'll take a look at all the aircraft here, and then we'll take a look around us. So let's go ahead and search for aircraft. Now, for me personally, I think our first purchase, I would like to look for a King Air. I don't know if I want to go into, these are a lot of aircraft here at our airport. So, wow, how many pages? 2 pages of aircraft for sale here at Snohomish County. There's a Boeing, there's a couple of Boeings if you just have a, 231 million sitting around that you want to go ahead and invest. Lots of payload, obviously. G36, Cessna Skyhawk, Boeings here, Asobo X Cub, Bonanza G36, and yeah, that's pretty much that for this page. Let's go over to the next page. There's a TBM. So there is a TBM for $299,000. We could purchase this right now, I believe. This was probably our old rented TBM. It's actually going to be auto-flown back to its original airport, I think. More G36s, TBM 930 for sale or for nothing. It doesn't have a listed sale price or rental price. And what I would like to see, let's see, we can go to the details of this. If it doesn't have a listed buy price, would we be able to see it in another page? It's a new frame. It's a new airframe. Okay, no, it's not actually allowed, or it's not actually available for rent or purchase. Is this owned by another person? MILR. Is this another company? I like that you can, hey, this is Miller. Hey, Miller, if you're watching the video, Good job. Keep up the hard work, friend. Miller Air. There we go. So there's another person here at Snohomish County, which is kind of cool. So let's say that we wanted to start looking into a twin-engine Baron King. So let's go for search or generate aircraft. We're going to choose from the list, and this is a twin engine. So this is a multi-engine turboprop. And we're looking for the King Air under the MFS sim. So the maximum price we would pay is 2237. Oh, crap. What airport are we nearby? KFAE? Was that right? Snohomish County? Nope. I definitely got that one wrong. All right, let me go forward a couple pages. I'm going to make you suffer through this with me. We've got a lot of background footage to get through today, so this is going to be a nice, relaxing episode. KPAE. What did I say? KFAE? Okay. KPAE. Snohomish County, Painfield. Okay, it's Painfield. PAE. So what do we have nearby? Within 250 miles, we have a ton of Beechcraft King Airs. The cheapest one we could get is for $852,000. That's already got 23,000 hours of flight time. And I'd love to get one that's in not single, but under the 10,000 in terms of hours. That would cost $1.3 million. Okay, what about buying a brand new TBM? If we go under the list, same list, KPAE is our airport. The minimum price for a good-ish, new-ish TBM, only $277,000. That's not bad. That's actually not too bad. Also, can we buy a brand new plane? I guess this is the brand new cost, 470 hours. For this aircraft, the airframe is considered high frame from 20,000 hours on. So this would be a brand new aircraft right down here, 38 miles away. It's for sale for 436,000 buckaroos. So that would pretty much be a brand new aircraft. So the question is, what do we want to do? Do we want to invest in getting an early TBM that we own? Or do we want to look at continuing to rent for a while until we're able to save up enough money to purchase something that's even bigger? Now, our storage right now is 1,400 pounds, and the overall range is about 1,200 miles. And this, of course, goes down. The more your payload is up, the less fuel you can carry. So this will kind of adjust a little bit. So we're about like 1,000 miles is our range when we're kind of, decently fueled up. I think really 800 miles. If we're full up on payload, we have a range of about 800 nautical miles, I believe. So that's not super, super impressive. The Grand Caravan, however, can hold pretty much double the payload. Now, I hate the Grand Caravan. I really do. It's a great aircraft. It is incredibly useful, but I don't like the way it looks. I don't really like the way it flies. However, we don't necessarily have to fly it. We could shuffle this off to one of our pilots that we hire full time, and we could designate them to do a bunch of jobs. So maybe that's the option that we might want to look into. So what is another cheap-ish? Here's 2,000 hours on a Cessna 208 Grand Caravan. So pretty much double the payload. The range is not quite as far as it was in our TBM. However, this should be able to have the same range with a pretty close to full payload because it's got a pretty big payload. That means that's lots of room for fuel. So 659,000 from there. What other kinds of aircraft are we looking at? I guess after that point, once we're looking at multi-engine turboprop, what about a multi-engine piston? We've got the Baron G58, which I don't have on this computer. I don't have the deluxe edition of Microsoft Flight Simulator, so I didn't get the G58, and I don't see where you can actually pick it up. So I don't have the G58, although I guess on paper, truly on paper, we could buy this. We don't necessarily have to fly this in the simulator. We can still do all this stuff without having this aircraft loaded, so I guess it's worth taking a look. So let's take a peep at the G58. Now, this is a multi-engine piston, so it will use avgas as opposed to jet fuel. Minimum price looks to be around $465,000. Payload for this is 2,100. I saw the C-47 there, and I was like, what the crap? That's a lot of storage. Can we buy a C-47? Really? C-47, Spirit of Middlesex. We can have $1 million, and we, too, can have our own brand new-ish C-47. That's awesome. So beyond that, I guess we're starting to look into the jet category, right? We're going to be looking at probably the Cessna Citation. We've got the Cessna Citation and the Cessna Longitude. These are the two, I think, personal jet line of Cessnas, right? We've got, and this would probably be the highest level that I'd be interested in flying. Because I always love the idea about being a private pilot for like a super rich executive or something like that, but not really the Airbus stuff. That might be something that we manage as a company. We have our own Airbus that we run from point to point. Maybe we'll do the event coordination. That's kind of one of the jobs available. But the C-47 looks like that was sitting around 1 million. That's actually not too bad for a jet. That's really not terrible. 6,900 pounds with a range of 1,000 nautical miles. So really, if we want to start hitting the really high heavy loads with the really long range, we are going to be talking about the heavy jets, right? So the Airbus is maximum 54 million. The two Boeings here, we've got a range of 16,000 nautical miles. We can fly forever, basically. So those are going to be way, way off in the future, right? So the idea, well, here's the other thing too. We should have some skill points available. So in theory, we have, oh, we don't actually have any skill points yet. We're pretty close to a level up. I could look at the bank loans, but I feel like we're not going to be able to get that much money from the bank. Maybe it depends on how much money you already have. I actually really don't know. So here's what we're going to do first. We're going to pick up a new employee, and we're going to set them to the home base of KPAE. So let's go to the global job market. Now, people can be hired from anywhere. They will go where you tell them to go. So I probably want to grab somebody who's got really good punctuality and that has a decent stress resistance. So someone like right here. This is going to be at least, I think, $900 per week, $63 per hour, and 132. I don't know what wages is per hour versus per hour, but let's evaluate Ellis Wright. He is 48 years old. He will be given a per flight hour salary of $63, and his guaranteed weekly salary is $900. So if at minimum, if we don't fly him enough over 900, we're going to give him at least 900. That's the idea. He can, in fact, maybe single engine turboprop. So he can, in fact, fly a single engine turboprop, which is good. So let's go ahead and install him here at KPAE. We'll install him at Snohomish County. Now, we've got him here at Snohomish County. We need to find an aircraft for him to fly. So he's getting himself, he's already settled in, instantly settled in, which is great. So let's go to the search and generate aircraft screen. I think we're going to do some rentals for TBMs again, because I can't get over how awesome TBMs are, honestly. So turboprop, filter by MFS, and we'll look around KPAE. And is there anything at our airport? I think it's the one we had, right? This might have been the one that we already rented. Maybe not. Maybe this is an older one, but still, this is fine. This is one that's here at KPAE. It is rentable. So we're going to go ahead and rent this TBM. Once we rent it, our pilot should be able to use it. Now, I think there is like a schedule. I don't know when they have to sleep. Let's take a look and see if we can get a feeling for when our employee actually has to rest. It might either be X time versus X time or after a certain amount of hours. So hired since start of current pay period, certifications, this is showing where you're at. So it doesn't show anything about when they need to rest. So it might just be after a certain period of time. We can also tell them to rest now if we need to. We can also, I think, train them on other types of aircraft. Let's see, ultralight. Yeah, these are going to be for different types of aircraft to fly. So we don't have to really train them because he's already pretty decent. Alrighty, so we have a couple of jobs that are pending. Now, if we take a look at the open jobs that we've already have assigned to us, you'll notice that a lot of them are doubled up. So, for example, we have a pickup at KNUW as well as KCLM on this first kind of job mission. But here we also have a pickup and drop off from KNUW and KCLM as well. So what we're going to do is create a couple of work orders and have our new pilot kind of pick up as much as they can, deliver it, and maybe do a couple different hops. So what we'll probably do is we're going to have a hop from KNUW to KCLM back to Coors, over to Vancouver Island, not Victoria Island, and then back to Coors, over to basically Vancouver, and then back home, and then we'll just do this little last pickup. We might even do this ourselves, because it's just a small little hop up north from where we are. So let's talk about work orders. Now, I had a little bit of trouble. I'm actually kind of re-recording stuff. I had a little trouble getting a work order set. So this might change for you, but just keep this in mind. There was a little bit of a trouble that I had trying to get this kind of fired up and going. But here's what we're going to do. We're going to call this work order, we're going to call this work order 001. We'll just label it like that. What we're going to do is assign, now I'm going to assign a pilot for a reason I'll explain here in just a minute. I'm going to start adding some legs. So we are going to be departing from Snohomish County, and we're going to be heading over to KCLM. Remember, our pilot is currently at Snohomish County, so that's where we're starting from. Here, we're going to actually pick up about 150 gallons of fuel from KPAE, and we're going to be leaving empty. There's no cargo to pick up here. once we're at KCLM, we're actually going to load whatever's available at KCLM. So for example, we're going to load the passenger here, and we're going to load the cargo. From here, we're not going to load any fuel, which means that hopefully the fuel that's existing from the first one is going to be enough to get us there, which it should. We're going to head over to KNUW from here, which is funny because it's actually our alternate, but KCLM to KNUW. At KNUW, we're going to add another leg, and we're going to pick up all of the cargo available here. So we're going to load up KNUW, we're going to load up 2 passengers here, and KNUW, we're going to pick up this cargo. Again, not loading fuel at the airport, and our target airport is going to be Orcas I. That's going to be our end goal. Now, a couple weird things that show up here. Right away, you notice that the fuel needed for current leg says 1,300. I have no idea why that says that. We're only going 51 miles, 36 miles, 24 miles. So I'm hoping that there's just a bug somewhere in the fuel system. Maybe there's a comma where a period should be, and this should be like 1.3 gallons or something. We're going 51, 36, 24 miles. So in theory, if we require 46 gallons of fuel for a 51 nautical mile journey, a 60 nautical mile journey will only require something like another 50. So by having a total of 155 gallons of fuel loaded up at the start, we should be okay. Beyond that, I think we're pretty much good. It actually keeps the payload information for what's already loaded on. So we're loading about 1,600 pounds worth of payload at KCLM. Once we get to KNUW, that number goes up to 2,100. So we're actually okay overall. We could actually bump up the weight. So at our final location, ooh, does it actually change the weight? It didn't change the weight. 198 added how many pounds? 155 is the fuel we started at. So we're at 1,200 pounds. It adds another 200 pounds or so, 200 to 300 pounds. We have enough of that in this overall weight limit, I think. 200 to 300 maximum payload. We'll bring that gas down just a bit. Okay, right there. So here's where I had a problem. I did this last time, and I tried to add another work order, and everything disappeared. So what I'm going to do is try to activate the work order. And I think it's gonna error out. Of course, we haven't assigned a pilot, but I believe when you do that, it actually saves the work order. I don't see any other way to save a work order. And it almost seems like the last time I did this, it didn't save it. So if we add another work order here for later, hopefully, yes, our original work order stays there. So from here, we're going to do something very similar. So work order number 2, this is probably 2043. I don't know how many hours this is going to take, but I guess we could just say to start work order number 3 tomorrow at some point. Maybe we start this at 0400. Again, have no idea which one's going to be which. We are going to be departing from Orcas I. We are going to be in a different location, and we'll be going to these other airports. So KWO here, I'll also load up, again, kind of the similar amount of fuel. Won't be doing anything different. Add a leg. We're going to be going to KWO. At KWO, we're going to be picking up a couple of things. Passenger transport. And, oh, KWO only has one item. These aren't doubled up. So from KWO, we're going to head over to KBVS, which I think is Skagit. Is that over where, what's KWO? Arlington Municipal. KWO. KBVS. I don't know where these are, actually. And KBVS is fine. KBVS, we're going to pick up cargo here. KBVS, I think it's only a 1 pickup. And then we're going back to KORS for drop-off. Not loading fuel. Not loading fuel. Again, 44, 21, 24 miles. So our current fuel here should be fine. Once again, activating this work order, it's going to error out, which is fine. I don't know any other way to save the work order, so I could be doing this completely in the wrong way. It's just that at the end of the day, I don't really know what's needed to make something get saved. So I was trying to be a little bit safe. You're supposed to be work order 2, my friend. And you're supposed to be work order number 3. So let me go through here and create a couple more work orders, and I will be right back. Okie dokie, so I've got all of our work orders in here, I think, and I'm pretty sure we're good to go. 31, 34, 29, so we've got 150 fuel. I will go ahead and activate this and refresh the list. Gonna error out on me, of course. Maybe. Possibly. There we go. Let's refresh the list and take a quick look. So, I don't know how long this is actually going to take for the flight, so I don't really have a good sense of timing. So right now, this flight is scheduled to start pretty much immediately. What I could do is come back here once our pilot is kind of on the way out to his objective and coming back. We'll get a good sense on when to start the next flight. We should be able to stuff quite a few flights in here in a 12-hour period because we're going to be just going, you know, right around the neighborhood. So this really Should probably only fire off a couple hours later. But here we go. We're going to basically have, it's a 2 airport run and then back to KORS. That's pretty much what every single flight is. So here we're going to KCLM to KC and UW, picking up cargo. All of these basically have planned cargo pickups and then dropping off at KORS. So we'll give it a shot. I have no idea if this is going to work out or not. Let's go ahead and assign our pilot and try to activate this flight. We'll see. And normally it'll error out and tell you any other issues that it's having, but right now it looks like it's okay. So that's set. Let's set this flight to, I don't know, we're going 50 nautical miles, 36 nautical miles. Remember, we go about 200 and some odd nautical miles per hour in theory, but then you got to think about, you know, taxi time, takeoff time, unloading time, all that stuff is going to add up. So I'm guessing this is going to probably be pretty close to 4 for our kickoff here. So maybe we'll try 3 a.m. We're going to assign the same pilot, flight in progress. We're going to assign Ellie to the work order number 2 and hit activate. It should queue it up in theory. So yellow must indicate that yes, it is planned. So if we're planning for about 4 to 5 hours, let's give this work order number 3 a little bit of a gap. Assign our pilot here again. And for work order number 4, we'll kind of extend this out to 11 a.m. and assign her as the pilot and kind of go from there. So this will be kind of a trial. I've never done, you know, other than a very, very simple work order to go from point A to point B. At one point, I kind of ran out of fuel at an airport, so I had to have another pilot come grab me. So I did experiment a little bit with the work order system, but this is the most complex by far work order I've made thus far. But this is kind of delving deep into an airport simulator. Now, obviously, these small flights are going to be more complex. I think the easier thing would, you know, to get jobs that are long flights, right? Because you can get a pilot and get an aircraft that's going from point A to point B that's pretty far across the world. So that way you plan the flight and then you leave them alone, right? That's all you have to do is you send them on their way and they're gone. Already you can see that Ellis Wright is taken to the skies. He basically taxied out of here in 2 seconds. He's gone. He is donezo. Awesome. He was like in the plane, ready to go at a moment's notice. So he's already working this work order. So I guess we'll get a feel for how long this is going to take. What else can we talk about for company management? We've got 1 pilot in the air. We are expanding our FBO. Our reputation here is anything else? Oh, this is a skill tree, right? We're going to get some skills from, I hope we get the experience, by the way. Our pilot shouldn't get the experience. I think we'll be getting the experience values, hopefully. Company value, anything out of here? No. Share capital. What's share capital? Owner's equity. Let's talk about monies. How do we get more equity out of our airline? Is this basically what we're worth? Assets to debt, company value, current cash. Can you invest in your own aircraft or your own organization here? I don't believe so. Here is our overall checkbook. All the incomes that have come in, all the money that's gone out. So you can see that I've done a couple of flights here, passengers, cargo, passengers, stuff like that. Owner's equity. Is this what we started the game with? Oh, we started the game with 70,000. So I don't know if that's a loan or what that's considered to be. Is there a different finance screen here? Cash flow, loans, income statement. There might be a hidden kind of a screen that we don't have access to. Loan proposal, current loan, none. Company's current value. So we can see that we're worth $320,000 right now because that's pretty much our liquidity. We have $320,000 cash on hand. I'll tell you what, while we have our pilot here already active, let's look for hiring another pilot. Why go small? Why not go big? So let's take a peek and see if we can't find any new jobs around KPAE. Let's look for maybe a nice medium-sized haul from Snohomish. Let's see if there's any kind of a passenger transportation. That way we can just stick someone on a flight and let them go for a while. So we have a pretty long executive trip here. This is interesting. This is a 10 passenger though. This is a pretty long flight. Down to the southeastern corner of Utah. 10 passengers. I don't think there's any aircraft that we have or we could afford that could hold 10 passengers, is there? These are 2 separate groups here. 2 different groups of executives, but they're both departing from Snohomish and they're both ready to go. Normally, if you have an executive mission, you got to be careful that there's not a time constraint thing. This is different though. It used to be, I think they've changed how the availability is. So it used to be different symbols. Now it just tells you when this mission can start. So these people here, for example, would be available in 3 days and 7 hours. That's what the availability warning indicates, that you can't just pick up this mission and run with it. So what has 10 passengers in it? Can we search for aircraft real quick? Does the multi-engine piston land? What do we have access to that could hold 10 passengers? The Baron G58 has 6 for seating. I don't think a single engine is going to hold enough. Interesting. There's 3 different versions here of the Cessna Grand Caravan. One of them would have enough seating, but the range isn't going to be far enough. What if we rent a King Air? A King Air has 11 seats, and it has a range of 1,200 nautical miles. Are there any King Airs around us right now? Again, like I said before, I do want to move into a King Air myself, but I'd rather not do it on a whim. This is just a rental for other people. We're basically facilitating the rental for our other pilot to use. So we could rent one. It would cost $29,000 up front, and it would cost $2,900 per flight hour. So even if we had a 3 or 4 hour flight, we're still making a pretty good buck off that, especially with seating so many people. So, is there anything close by? There is a King Air available just 23 miles away. So, I'll tell you what. Let's go ahead and rent this King Air right here at OS9 or 0S9. We're going to start a rental, and this could be an experiment. We don't know if this is going to make us tons of money or not, but we're going to go ahead and rent this. It's going to cost $31,000 up front. Beautiful King Air with 11 passenger seating. We're going to go into the work order list here and hire a new employee. Now, I could hire this employee and have them start at the same airport, but I think I want to keep my airports grounded at home or set up at the same home. So we're going to go ahead and hire Susanna Timonen here. We're going to send her to KPAE, Snohomish County. We are hiring her on full time, and she is multi-engine. Is the King Air? The King Air is not piston, right? The King Air is a turboprop. Multi-engine turboprop. Yeah, we need to have someone who's actually trained. I'm lucky I caught that. We do need to get someone who's trained on the turboprop. So let's keep going through the list. Multi-engine turboprop land. Okay, so Paolo here is in fact trained and certified to fly the King Air. So we'll try this one. We'll grab Paolo. No offense to that other young woman. I'm sure she would have been a great pilot, but she didn't quite match up with us. So Ellis is in flight. Paolo is sitting here at KPAE. So what we can do is we can go to manage and say transport, and we want to transport him to 0S9, Jefferson County, start transportation. This is only going to take 37 minutes to complete. So he's basically, we're hiring him an Uber. We're grabbing an Uber for him, and he's going to take an Uber over to OS9. Then he'll be at the same airport as the flight. Once he's there, we'll set up a new work order. We're going to say, take this aircraft and go ahead and fly from OS9 to KPAE. This is going to be the first work order for this aircraft. So we'll target Paolo here. He's transferring to the airport. We're going to add this leg. Oops, sorry, delete the leg. This is the only leg we're really doing is the main one. We don't have to worry about fuel pretty much. Don't load fuel. I think we already probably have fuel on board. 72 gallons is needed. I think it should be fine. Let's try to activate it. Maybe it might fuss at us about fuel. You just specify a co-pilot. Oh, interesting. The King Air requires a co-pilot. This is going to be new. Okay, fair enough. We're going to do the same thing then. We're going to go over to the hiring screen and grab ourselves a co-pilot. Okay, so multi-engine piston. Man, I can't find anyone who has a turbo. None of the women can fly turboprops? Is there like some secret sexist thing going on where women can't fly turboprops or something? I feel like we need to get more ladies in multi-engine turboprops. There we go. Gilbert. Nope, you are a man. Gilbert, you are a multi-engine turboprop gent. We are going to have you again, KPAE. And we didn't quite get you on the right Uber, but we'll get you heading the right way immediately. So Gilbert's going to go ahead and follow up and transport over to 0S9 as well. This is cool. I really like the idea of getting co-pilots. Well, heck, while we're at it, can we look at what do mechanics do? Do mechanics let us have cheaper? I really don't know. This is where I really should be bringing in the ye old instruction manual. All right, so a quick Google search later on, and you're able to see the fact that the manual is right here. So here's the manual for OnAir Company Manager. If we take a quick peek here, let's go down under employees. Does it talk about which types of employees do what? Mechanics will amount repaired, affects the time needed for repairs, and aircraft reconfiguration. Oh, that's right. We're going to be able to reconfigure our aircraft. That's kind of interesting. Let's look up at FBOs real fast because I wanted to look up more information about FBOs. Yeah, what kind of a tutorial video is it where we're reading the manual? That's how it's done in real life, friends. That's how we do it. That's how we're going to do it. Services here. A wrench indicates that it does repairs. FBO management here. Cargo hangar. If you plan on leaving cargo overnight at this airport often, having a cargo hangar will save you on storage fees. Crew rooms will let your employees rest there for free. Tie downs in the hangar allow your company to park at this airport for free. Hangars will include a de-icing feature. Maximum amount of each is 50. Well, this is pretty cool. Workshop agreement. This will allow your FBO, having a workshop at your FBO allows you to service and repair your aircraft at this airport. Having a workshop requires the appropriate skill. Okay. Now, where does... Oh, here it goes. In order for a workshop to function, you need to have a mechanic assigned. Well, good to know. Looks at that. If you RTFM, you too can learn all that you need to know about the game there. So we don't need a mechanic yet. That's going to be more longer term, I think. Let's go back over to our brand new Beechcraft. Under work orders, this work order still should be here. And we're going to assign Gilbert over to this work order. So, is he going to fuss at us or is he going to like us? Not enough fuel for this flight. Range needed 163. Range with current fuel 47. Ruh-roh. We bought a plane at an airport that might not sell jet fuel. So we're at OS9. We're going to search all of the airfields near us, 0S9, all the FBOs nearby, to see who offers jet fuel. So if we sort by distance, the nearest airfield that does offer fuel is at KNUW. This is where we actually have jet fuel available. And this is kind of cool. This is where our Odin Airlines is. So you can actually see in Snohomish County, there are, in fact, two FBOs. I forgot the name of what it was called real quick. Here's another one, by the way. Or is it not? I thought this was an organization's name, HL4U, for example. Yeah, there's two Skagit regionals here, which indicates that this is somebody else's FBO, a player-owned FBO. I really like that system, by the way. It's pretty cool. Now, I don't see a ton of them up here, but I'm also on the Cumulus world. So I'm on a little bit of an easier world just to kind of show the tutorial and get things done. I do have another company over on, oh, is it Stratus, I think? Is the other type of world you can have, which is kind of a little bit of a difficult, a higher difficulty. One of these doesn't allow you to hire people. So there's another world out there that's only for other pilots. But anyway, sorry, distracted by a shiny thing. We need to go over to KNUW. So can we change this to go to KNUW instead? Destination KNUW. This is only we need 70 gallons of fuel. How are we going to do this? I don't know how we're going to get here. We have a plane without any fuel. Awesome. Awesome, awesome stuff. Now, this has come up before for me. I had a problem where I ran out of fuel during a flight. What you can do is go under FBOs. This is going to be great. No idea what we're going to do here. Let's go to Snohomish.
230 at 2 knots.
We need a plane to rescue our plane. So Snohomish Field. Of course, we have our FBO, but then we've got this this other jet fuel services, right? So if we click on KPAE, we can click this icon here to buy jet fuel at a 5.3 gallon container of jet fuel. So let's buy, what do we need, like 70 gallons? Let's buy a bunch of jet fuel containers. Okay, so I have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40 pounds of fuel in containers. So I'm going to keep buying a couple more because I have no idea how many. I think we're going to need a total of 40 more gallons of fuel to get to our location that we need to go to. Because when you do a work order, you have to have the 30 minutes of flight time fuel available. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, and then 0.3 on each one. So we should have over 50 gallons of fuel in jet fuel containers. Here's the problem. Last time I tried to do this, I couldn't actually load these fuel cans up anyway that I found. So for funsies, Number one, do these even show up? These don't even show up as an available payload. That's the big problem. I don't see a way for us to load any of these fuel cans using a work order. So it's almost like you have to load it yourself. So we're at KPAE. We're going to need to get another aircraft here at our airport. We're a hot mess. We're literally renting an aircraft to deliver fuel to another aircraft. I'll tell you what, guys, only the best for you on this channel. So let's search for aircraft that are available here at KPAE. I mean, screw it. Maybe we'll just, you know, we'll just buy an aircraft. I don't know. We'll panic buy something. So here's all the aircraft available. We have a couple of Cessnas and our Skyhawk Bonanza G36. Yada, yada, yada. Where's page 2? Page 2. And we have a couple of TBMs. So there is one aircraft that is available for rent here. So I doubt we could, like, rent it, double rent it or something. All we really need to do, though, is drag over a little bit of fuel. So we can grab one of these Cessna Skyhawks. And these are super cheap. So let's do this. Let's grab a Cessna Skyhawk. These are all rented, but this one is not. So, hang on. Which one actually has a... What? Are none of these available for rent? You buggers. How about a... Cessna 152. This has a payload of 530 pounds. I hope it can carry it. Bonanza G36. Were we in a G36 for a hot minute? We did fly a G36, correct? I think we did. This G36 is rented. Can we like double rent it? It says it's already rented by someone. Yeah, okay, so this is actually considered to be rented. Now we're gonna struggle to get a plane. Are you kidding me? What a hot mess this is right now. This belongs to another player. All of these belong to different players as well. Okay. What the heck is for rent that is not actually taken? There's a DA-40, and it has to be something in Microsoft Flight Simulator because I need to fly this trip. I need to deliver this fuel. So I guess we have to fly a Cessna 152. It's got 530 cargo capacity. Let's try it out. Let's try to rent this Cessna. It's a fuel rescue mission here. We're going to rent this bad boy. Oh, heck yeah, baby. Nothing dangerous about carrying a bunch of fuel, too. So here's the Cessna. We're going to go prepare for the flight. Now, when you prepare the flight, you can see all of this stuff, all these cans that are available to load, right? The question really was, okay, we can't load 2 of the full list of cargoes here. The thing is, in theory, you should be able to load these by another pilot, right? But as far as I can tell, I couldn't find that option. So anyways, hopefully I'll be able to fly this over to our airport where our new airplane is sitting. God, what a mess. What a mess. Who leaves a plane with no fuel? That's just rude. Let me bring up my work order screen again for my aircrafts. Let's go to our aircraft list. I need to double check that I'm not screwing myself over any more than I already have. So back to work orders. Again, if we try to make this flight, we need 47. We need 159 miles. Can I get like your range with current fuel is 47. But I can't tell how much fuel we have right now. Are we going to have to just shuffle fuel back in? Surely there has to be a better way to do this. Like order a little bit of fuel to be delivered to the airport or something. Let me look around a bit and see if I can come up with an idea. Okay, so we're going to try something a little bit different. So we're going to load up these cargo containers, these jet fuel containers. I think we've got enough fuel, by the way. I did a little bit of, paper napkin math, and I think we're okay. So we're loading up our payload. How much space do we have fuel-wise? We have a range of 224 nautical miles. We should be fine. So let's go ahead and confirm and fly now. Someone mentioned that on the loading screen here, without using a work order system, we should be able to assign a pilot to this job. So guess what? We're going to go ahead and hire yet another pilot. We're hiring people left and right here. We don't care who it is. Let's hire a student pilot who has the fewest amount of hours here. Here we go. Joseph Schofield. I love it. Congratulations, Joseph. You're an up-and-coming pilot with only 508 hours, but you're certified in everything. Great. We're going to go ahead and hire you at KPAE, Snohomish County. God, that sound effect always scares the crap out of me. So we've hired you. Here's our flight. So can we're going to 0S9. Okay, so I didn't know this. You can launch a flight through the manual loading screen. Awesome. I thought you had to do everything with an AI through the work orders, but that doesn't look like it's the case. So we should have 10, 20, 30, 40 gallons of fuel. And I mean, we should be able to get closer. If we have to, we'll do another delivery of fuel, but I believe this is going to be enough to get our friends home. So there we go. We're going to go ahead and launch the flight when ready. We've loaded up a bunch of jet fuel containers. What just a janky way to do this. We're literally flying fuel as opposed to calling someone and delivering it by fuel truck or something. So our other friends are already over at the other airport, which was OS9, 0S9. So our relief pilot is going to be heading over in his Cessna to drop off this fuel. So that's the order of operators. So fuel should be delivered. We'll be able to use that fuel to reload our Beechcraft. We'll then bring our Beechcraft back home, fuel up completely, and then take on that. God, what did we even take? The original reason we were doing this was to take a job. Did I ever accept a job? Oh God, watch it not even be available. Let's search. Let's grab this job before it disappears off our list here. Short haul. I want my monies. Here's the executive trip. 10 passengers, 835 nautical miles. So we're going to go ahead and grab this mission before it expires. 147,000 though. That is nothing to shake a stick at. That is a good amount of money. So I'm going to go ahead and fast forward just a bit and wait for our fuel rescue mission to go ahead and proceed. How's our other flight, by the way? Let's look at the live operations map. This is kind of cool too. I imagine as you start to get a lot of pilots, this will actually start to be really, really neat. Now, I wonder, what kind of automated options do we have? Like, what if we're talking about managing an actual airline that's like Spirit Airlines, a crappier brother to Spirit Airlines. If we have our employees, we have an FBO at JFK International, can we set repeating flights? Or did the jobs that are available show you more passengers, for example? Here's logistics, outsourcing. This is interesting. I don't think I've looked at the outsourcing. What's FBO query? No jobs with certain criteria. I have no idea what this one even is. I'll have to check the manual for that. So, I don't know. Passengers minimum, up to 900 passengers. Airport size 2. Long haul. Was it KJFK? Okay, at Kennedy International, do we actually have flights of people that want to be taken from point A to point B? Yes, we do actually. Interesting. So there are, in fact, business trips here. 500 passengers, 700 passengers going from New York over to Germany or in Poland. So you can make quite a bit of money doing these flights. It's pretty cool. So you still can do. I don't really know if you're going to be able to do like regularly scheduled flights out of an airport, like you would, create your own airline like Delta to have regularly scheduled flights. But you might always have to do it through this screen. But either way, that's pretty cool. So we actually can still make lots of money carrying lots and lots of passengers. Okay, friends, so actually looking at the time, we spent a lot of time talking about this. This is almost a full flight's worth of content. So I think what we'll do is I'll come back to update you on the results of this flight and our current situation, and we'll do another flight together. So we'll take a look at this at the start of the video, and then we'll do a flight somewhere around Seattle, because I want to show off the fact that I downloaded the manual cache for our maps, for our imagery. I want to see how high quality that is. So we'll take a quick hop down to the Tacoma-Seattle airport, or Seattle-Tacoma. I don't know, maybe we'll do like a sightseeing tour. Maybe we'll just take some aircraft randomly, like a Cessna, because Cessna can go really slow, of course, and stay in the air. So maybe we'll just rent a Cessna and fly around downtown Seattle a bit and see how these high quality images look. And then we'll talk about our different flight missions. So, hey man, our guy is he's on it, by the way. Good old Ellis Wright. He's already on the last leg of his trip, heading over to, I think he's heading to KORS. No, he's going from KCLM to KNUW. So then from KNUW over to KORS. He's only been in the air a couple hours now. This is cool. We actually get to see our little pilots up here. This is so cute. I'm really looking forward to exploring more about this, guys. But I'm going to go ahead and end it here. We'll pick up again in the next video, friends. Thank you so much for your continued support. You guys are awesome. I'm getting a lot of positive feedback and a lot of supportive comments. So thank you guys so much. It means a lot to me to get those kinds of comments and not get, awful, hateful things. So thanks for just not being a jerk. It shouldn't have to be said, but you are all very, very awesome. Please do join the Discord, by the way. But Discord in the link below. Come say hi. Just chat if you want. We'll make a little channel for flight simulators and talk about flying through the world. But yeah, I hope to see you again in the next video, friends. Until next time, please do take care. I'll see you then.